The conflict between Israel and Hezbollah is intensifying. The Israeli military has said a Hezbollah missile intercepted near Israel's economic center Tel Aviv is the first fired by the militant group to reach close to the city. Hezbollah says it had targeted the headquarters of Israel's intelligence service, Mossad, which it blames for attacks targeting its members, including the explosions of thousands of pagers and walkie-talkies last week. Israel and Hezbollah have traded waves of strikes since Israeli attacks targeting the militant group killed more than 500 people on Friday, the deadliest day in Lebanon in more than 2 decades. People are fearing for their lives as they flee Israeli airstrikes. Beirut is providing shelter for about 10,000 people displaced by recent Israeli attacks. Many children remain missing under rubble, according to the UN Children's Agency UNICEF. More children were killed in Lebanon in one day on Monday alone than in the past year. An Israeli airstrike killed one of Hezbollah's senior commanders, Ibrahim Qubaisi, on Tuesday. The Israeli military says Qubaisi commanded various missile units and was killed along with 2 other commanders in southern Beirut. Israel's military has vowed to speed up its offensive operations against Hezbollah without reprieve. Troops have held exercises simulating ground combat in Lebanon, which Israel has not ruled out. Israel's offensive since Monday, as we said, has killed over 560 people, including 50 children, and wounded over 1,800 in Lebanon. The new offensive against Hezbollah has stoked fears that nearly a year of conflict between Israel and the militant Palestinian group Hamas in Gaza is escalating and could destabilize the Middle East. Israel's constant pounding of Lebanon targeting Hezbollah continues with no end in sight. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has issued a second warning to the people of Lebanon, urging them to stay out of harm's way. In a post on X, the Israeli Prime Minister said, "We will continue striking Hezbollah. Anyone who has a missile in their living room and a rocket in their garage will not have a home." The airstrikes seem to be hitting at the heart of Hezbollah, with top commanders of the militant group being taken out. The latest being Ibrahim Qubaisi, who, as we said, was killed in Tuesday's airstrike, which targeted the southern suburbs of Beirut. The UN Security Council has said it would meet today to discuss the conflict. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres has said Lebanon is on the brink. The people of Lebanon, the people of Israel, and the people of the world cannot afford Lebanon to become another Gaza. At the UN, which is holding its General Assembly, US President Joe Biden made a plea for calm, saying a full-scale war is not in anyone's interests. Even if a situation has escalated, a diplomatic solution is still possible, he said. Lebanon's Foreign Minister Abdullah Abu Habib has criticized Biden's address as not strong and not promising. He said the US is the only country that can really make a difference in the Middle East, and with regard to Lebanon, the United States is the key to our salvation, he said in New York. Meanwhile, in Beirut, thousands of displaced people who fled from southern Lebanon are sheltering in schools and other buildings. 500,000 people are estimated to have been displaced in the country. The US and other mediators, Qatar and Egypt, have so far been unsuccessful in their efforts to negotiate a ceasefire in the nearly year-long war in Gaza between Israel and Hamas. Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian, whose country and Israel are arch enemies, told the UN General Assembly that the international community must secure a permanent ceasefire in Gaza and bring an end to the desperate barbarism of Israel in Lebanon before it engulfs the region and the world. The Israeli military has been mounting its heaviest airstrikes this week, targeting Hezbollah leaders and hitting hundreds of sites deep inside Lebanon, while Hezbollah has fired barrages of rockets into Israel. Hezbollah has accused Israel's spy agency of carrying out an extraordinary operation last week in which the communication devices of its members were booby-trapped and exploded, killing at least 39 people and wounding 3,000 others in the worst security breach in Hezbollah's history. Israel has neither confirmed nor denied its involvement. And there has been no let-up whatsoever. Israel has said its warplanes are still carrying out extensive strikes in South Lebanon and the Bekaa Valley. But Hezbollah has proven resilient over its decades-long hostilities with Israel, recovering from heavy blows and defying superior firepower. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has said killing important Hezbollah figures will not bring the outfit to its knees. Israeli troops have been training for months for a possible ground operation inside Lebanon, aimed at securing its northern border and enabling thousands of Israeli residents who fled for their safety to return to their communities, one of Netanyahu government's top war priorities. So what lies ahead? Could it be a ground invasion of Lebanon by Israel?